So you've got your first meeting with a potential customer or client. And this is like a discovery. You want to learn a bit about them and they want to learn a bit about you, but it could also go a bit deeper depending on the course of the conversation. You don't want to be too controlled in it. But with that first touch point, there's about 5 to 6 questions I like to ask. And they're quite varied, and they won't be just one after another, they'll be through the course of the conversation. Because I want to learn a bit about them, and I want them to open up to me and tell me a bit about their business, but also then when I ask them questions, I hope they will ask me questions back. So it really helps for a good meeting for both parties to be open and engaged, and it gives it a good way forward so we can hopefully align and move forward with the next step. So what are these questions that I like to ask? Well, the first and foremost is I love to hear about their business. So I ask them something along the lines of like, where's your business today? What are your plans? What's your vision? What's your goals? And that's really important for them so they can open up to you. But why is that important for you? Because you want to see, can you be part of that process in achieving that? Can you be the catalyst of them achieving their dreams and their future state? So that's a really good question for both. Another question I like to ask, once you've learned about their strategy and vision, then you want to get a little bit deeper about what are your current pain points? What are the biggest business issues you're having today? What are the things that are stopping them achieving that vision? And again, you want to see, can you be that problem solver to help them get over these hurdles or over that mountain so they can see that end point in the distance? And that is really important. Again, it's a very open conversation-y type questions, right? And then you want to get in deeper. You want to talk about the meeting and about meeting you. So another question I like to ask is, well, what motivated, what interested you in meeting today with me? Like, what is it? Did you hear about something? Was it something you read about, or did you hear something from a third party or something? What was it? Because again, it's good to know where they stand with you, but then this could also lead them to ask you questions which you're happy to answer. And because you've asked these other qualifying questions, then you can answer a bit better and make it more relevant to the conversation. And again, you don't want to be talking about square services and round holes, what they pain points. You want to make sure there's a good alignment, and this leads that conversation in that direction. Again, it's all open, it's all discovery. And then once you're done with those type of questions in the course of the conversation, another question I like to ask is all about, well, what do you hope to accomplish for this meeting? Because you really, as you're going into prospects, you really want to get a sense, are they interested? Do they really want something there? Or is it just a meeting for the sake of a meeting? Or is it a meeting because they can learn about some pain points that they can go off and do themselves? You know? So you want to make sure that there's an interest here from their perspective. And that again leads a conversation. They're going to ask you questions. So it's going to be create two-way open conversation, which is great. You're making a connection, you're making an alignment, and you're seen as they're a good fit. So it really, really helps. And then finally, one of the big questions that I really like to close with is like, if this meeting could solve one thing, what it would be? Now this is really getting down to the brass tacks, really to see, are they interested? What do they hope the next steps are? Because if you go into that meeting, you should always have an endpoint, a goal that you want to achieve. This is a question that will lead it there. And again, you will see if the potential customer is really interested. And if I'm a bit unsure, then I will close it off. This will be the final question. And is there a budget available to start this and get this moving? And again, it's how motivated they are to do it. And because you want to make sure that you're not going to go down a situation where they're not truly interested in just exploring, and that's okay for them. But if you're busy, you don't have time for these things. If you can help them, well and good, absolutely. But you have to be protective of your time. I always say sales is the hardest part of business, and then along with that could be the most costly. You don't want to be going down many steps in the funnel with many potential customers with no success or no reward at the end. You're just wasting time, and that's time you can afford in sales. And it's so important to be protective of your time, but also respectful of their time as well. So these are the questions I like to use or develop in the course of conversation. It's not about checklists, make them all, tag them all down. It's about the course of the conversation. They should flow through natural elements of the conversation. I hope this makes sense, which is Any questions, get in touch. In the meantime, this is Shay saying, have a great day.